Hello and welcome back to episode 8 now of Pentiment. I'm wondering if we're getting close to the end because we're already working on this big mural piece, but you know, I don't know how long this game is, so let's get right back into it. Here we are. She has to finish the final part of the mural to and then write some letters, I think. Now I only have the final part of the mural to finish. How do I paint the revolt? Dad always talked about how the Archdeacon was the only one seeking justice in those days. But what was his name? The only Archdeacon I can remember is the name of the Archdeacon who came to Tassing when the Baron was killed. Jacob Essler. Maybe he wrote an account of the revolt as an Archdeacon. I'll write to him and ask. And of course I need to write back to Esther too. I'll write to them tonight before bed. Let's go do that. Alright, where to begin? I'll write to the Archdeacon Jacob Essler and see if he can tell me about the revolt. I'll write a letter to Esther too. I hope the courier can make it through the passes before winter. Oh, what's this note over here? Jacob Essler, formerly Archdeacon of Friesing. My name is Magdalene Druckerin. I'm an artist in the town of Tassing in Upper Bavaria. I believe you passed through our community when you investigated Baron Rothagel's murder at Kersau Abbey in 1518. Do you remember anything about that case that the people in Tassing might not remember? Did you see any evidence that might suggest there are some sort of larger conspiracy at work? Or, actually here, this is too broad. Do you have any reason to doubt the conclusion of the case? I mean no disrespect. I only ask in case it might help us understand our recent past. Thank you for any help that you can give. Magdalene Druckerin. Boom, letter done. Dearest Esther, I hope you are well. You must know how tremendously happy I am for you and Simond. And Elisha too, of course, and your parents. It warms my heart to know that your family is doing so well. By the time this letter reaches you, I expect winter to have enfolded Tassing. It's already freezing at night, so I've reorganized the workshop so that the inks don't deteriorate. Do you have to worry about that in Prague? You said it snows, but I always imagined it was warmer in winter. Dad is doing poorly, but at least he seems comfortable. He's sleeping more, but Dr. Stoll says that's a consequence of the colder weather. I do what I can for him, but this winter has been hard. I've asked Agnes for help, but there's only so much he and Dr. Stolz can do. He's not going to make it, and there's nothing I can do. Christ, I'm scared, Esther. The mural is progressing well, but I can't shake the feeling that someone is following me. I keep seeing this figure around town. After I explored the mines to see Tassing's early history and then again in the Abbey ruins. If it's the person who attacked my dad, why are they following me? Yeah. It's the strangest thing, given me a fright a few times already. But I don't mean to worry you. Nothing's happened to me yet, so I think I'll be safe. The only good news I can share at the moment is that the mural is almost finished. I should have it completed by Christmas, or soon after, before the new year at least. Then perhaps at long last I shall be able to visit you and meet the Simond. Anyway, I fear that this will be my last letter of the year. The Reichspost has already been late and reported worsening snows through the passes. We seem to be stepping into a harsh winter. Stay warm and give my regards to your family and Simond. I like that you can see like little bits of snow passing through this window here and there. Yours always, Magda. The change in the clock. Oh, so there is a note there. How did this get here? Stop. Oh, another threat. This is just like the note Dad found. Who's doing this? I mean, should I even go to sleep? They can get in and put that on my bed. I have a feeling I'm going to find out sooner or later. I need to ask Dad about this. It can't be a coincidence. But he's been so weak, I don't want to upset him. I just need to wait for the right time. I hope there is a right time. I mean, we're not going to ask him now. It's the middle of the night. It's late. I should get some rest soon. Go to sleep. And get murdered while I'm sleeping soundly. Oh, okay, so I didn't die in the middle of the night. That's comforting. I like that it's a 24-hour clock. That's kind of cool. Mistress Druckerin! Oh, look at all the snow! Only one letter for you today. And I'm all bundled up. That's it? That's all my bundling up? I would have much more going on down here than just up here. The pass is nigh impossible to traverse, and the heavy snow is hard on the horse and me. Anyway, happy Advent, my dear. Thank you, the same to you. Ah, a reply from Jacob Essler. Mistress Druckerin. I do recall the Rothvigil case, though it has been over a decade since I have served as an archdeacon. I am no longer associated with the office of the Bishop. In fact, I'm no longer associated with the Catholic Church. If you do not mind conversing with a Lutheran, whoa, I will tell you what I remember, okay. I take no offense at your question regarding potential doubts in the case of the Baron's murder. To stand in judgment of others for so many years naturally invites doubt. As with our faith, we must learn to live with those doubts and persevere in spite of them. Even so, it seems that the more relevant questions after so many years is if the architect of the murder is still at large. I recall that the artist who testified, Andreas Mahler, believes someone was manipulating the would-be killers. If this is the case, a serpent has lain coiled in the bosom of your community for decades. It may lay there still. What causes this serpent to awaken every few years to stage a new killing? I fear that finding the answer to that question may draw you into its reach. However, if you are determined to find the source of the trouble, I believe you must inquire with your neighbors. I urge caution in your investigation into this matter. If the serpent merely sleeps, it may be dangerous to poke into its old resting places. I hope this has been of some help to you. May God bless and keep you safe. Jacob Essler. We must find this serpent. No reply for Esther this time. It must have been delayed due to the heavy snow. The postman said I won't receive any more letters until spring. I'd better get back to the Rath House then. Still more work to be done. Wait, I want to investigate my neighbors and find this serpent. Oh my gosh, is my father okay? Klaus! The 24th, the night before Christmas. Here in the Philippines, we call it Noche Buena, and a lot of Spanish-speaking countries, I believe so. Good morning, Dad. I finally caught up on the mural, and now I can start final part today. Finding these typos is kind of funny. I promise I'll get it done. Magdalene, I'm proud of you. Thanks, Dad. I'm sorry Dr. Saul says you can't come to the festivities tonight. I know how much you love the Perchtenlauf? Perchtenlauf, a Germanic folk ritual celebrated around Christmas time in which townfolk dress as Perchten and drive evil spirits from the town to protect it in the coming new year. Oh, it's like a New Year's party, but on Christmas. There's always next year. Oh, come on, man. You're not gonna make it that right. Oh, no. How are you feeling? Dr. Stoll says he would come by again today. Fine, fine, I'm fine. Are you sure? Do you need anything? No, no. Go on. I'm all right. In fact, my spirits are lifted today. It's Christmas Eve after all. Gosh, he's just been lying in bed for months. Have I been cleaning his bed sores? Of course. These pauses where the ellipses, at first they were kind of annoying to click through, but then it does make an impact because you're like, you know that they're thinking, what's wrong? Dad, I found a note back in November. A note? What do you mean? It was like a note I found in your plans for the mural. Just a scrap of parchment. It looked like it came out of an old manuscript. The writing was elaborate, probably from a Bavarian scriptorium in the last century. And the ink was a rare purple. I've only seen it on a few other books. It just said, stop. Do you know where they came from? Who wrote them? Magdalene, Oh god, that must be Otz. He said he dropped by for more firewood. If you know something, I'd like you to tell me, alright? I know, I will. Can we talk about it later? Dad, I'll tell you, I promise. He knows something? Alright, I'll be back later. Good. Take care of yourself out there. What would he know? Maybe he's had more than one threat made on him? Morning, Magdalene. Look at his little hat. Morning, I told you the almanac was right, didn't I? The moon forecasted a cold winter this year. Fine, you're right. It's a good thing you paid attention to it too. Saved me a lot of trouble finishing work early. Anyway, here, I brought some firewood for you and your dad. Aw, thanks, Oats. You're welcome. So, how's your dad? You think he can join everyone for Christmas Mass? I think he'll stay in bed tonight. I'll do my best to be there. I need to keep working on the mural, though. I'm working on the final section about the peasants' revolt, right? It feels weird to talk about it. It affected Tassing so much, but we were just kids. I can't remember what happened since I was just a baby. I never even knew my dad. That's what makes it difficult. I need to ask those who were already adults that night, but don't want to touch raw nerves. What if you spoke to people while everyone was preparing for Christmas festivities? Clara sometimes talks about that night. Mom, too. You might be able to ask them. Wojslav and Matilda are the only two Benedictines left living in Tassing. Maybe they'll talk to me. I didn't think of that. Still, the mural is for Tassing, not the old abbey. Agnes has always been in Tassing, right? I'd go to her if I were you. Gosh, there's a lot of people I could ask. I'm just gonna ask every single neighbor. Oh gosh, no. Dad says she helped bury everyone who died that night. Goodness. I wonder if she'll talk about it. It's your project, Magdalene. Might be worth a try. I wrote to the old Archdeacon about it too. He thinks the Baron's murder and Otto's death are connected to the revolt. The who? The man who came to Tassing for the Baron Rothfield's murder. What about him? What about him, I mean? He was the judge for the Baron's murder. What if all the deaths in Tassing are connected? I don't see how that old Baron has anything to do with the revolt. Are you feeling all right? I think you're looking for connections that aren't there. Maybe this mural project is getting to you. I need to get to the bottom of this, Otz. There's something more to all this. I know it. If you're sure. I'll figure it out somehow. Thanks for the wood. See you later, Mags. Magdalene. Otz is right. I should start talking to people around town. I'd better get started if I want to talk to everyone before the Perchtenlauf. I love the sound of snow crunching. Okay, I think the way we'll do this is I'll just happen upon every person and just talk to them. Right? Because otherwise, I might miss someone. I don't think Blacktail will have anything. Hello, Magdalene. Eva. Hello, Eva. Magdalene, darling. Otz isn't here, I'm afraid. I wasn't looking for him. No? Are you sure? I think he wandered off towards the Wrath House. Something about the council, but if you ask me, I think he's looking for you. That's sweet of him. He's been dropping by the Wrath House more often as of late. He's quite fond of you. I'm surprised he has any time to visit, though. He's always working on town council business these days, and he's still working at mastering carpentry, too. I suggested a few years ago that he take up an apprenticeship, but he was determined to remain in Tassing. I think he's more comfortable here, even if that means he'll never be the craftsman Otto was. I help him how I can, but there's only so much I know how to do. Besides, I think he feels like he's taking care of me instead of the other way around. Funny how time does that. It's good of him to stay. I worry that you'd be lonely otherwise. Oh, even if he had gone, I wouldn't be alone. I have Mom and George and the rest of the family to help take care of. Besides, they keep me busy. I'll never want for anything with Otz and the community here in Tassing. I miss my husband, but I'm proud of Otz. He's growing into a capable young man. I'm excited to see him grow into a husband and father. He'll make a wonderful partner. Whoever he marries will be a lucky woman. I'm softening her up for this questioning about the murders. It's about that time to start finding a match too. It's wonderful that God blessed Endris with a wife at last, but I'd rather not have Otz be in his position. Better to marry earlier while he can raise a family. Anyway, I'm sure you'll have things to do. I'll let you get back to them. Always good to see you, Magda. You too, Eva. Wait, I want to ask you about the murders. Okay. I feel like we were just chatting, small talk. I got big fish to fry here. I don't have time for small talk. Oh, Enders is not here. I can't go into his home. Okay, let's start with the farms, the Gertner farms and the other farm. I have some coffee. I hope everyone does too. Big George. Hello, Magdalene. Gret. Oh, you can see that they're preparing their costumes down here. Bless you, Magdalene. Clara. Clara will have info. Hello, Magdalene. I would have thought you'd be working on the mural today. What brings you here? I would like to sit with you and ask how you remember the rebellion so that I can paint it, if that's all right. Ah, that was a sad time. If it will help you memorialize those who lost the revolt, yes, I'll answer a few questions. I don't mind. I was a little older than you, so I probably remember more, Magdalene. Of course, Magdalene. We'll tell you all you want to know. I've been looking forward to seeing the mural for some months. Come now, sit with us. Can I stitch too? Oh, that would be cool. Oh, yeah. Now that you're all settled, what do you want to know? Did the revolt happen? Did the revolt have anything to do with the other murder that happened in Tassing? Oh, the murder of the Baron, you mean? No, not really. I only remember that Andreas attempted to be a peacekeeper in both situations. I suppose that's when things started going poorly. Yes, after Prior Ferenc was discovered as a witch, people weren't as willing to trust the Abbey anymore. Then the abbot became more severe. He didn't like that the prior's death rattled his control of Tassing. I still think that the old prior cursed the town. That's when the crops started failing. Gosh, these people are superstitious. I don't know about any of that, but his taxes and restrictions and his attitude towards us became harsher after that. It was all we could do to live by them, but eventually became too much. Even with all the restrictions, was the revolt really justified? I keep hearing conflicting stories about how it began. I know things were bad for the peasants, but was it worth all the loss? You wouldn't remember it, Magdalene, but the abbot forced us to starvation. We would have died either way. We did everything we could to keep things from getting violent, but the Lord had other plans. I remember how sick and hungry I was all the time. Grandpa kept saying it hadn't always been like that. All was fine until Martin killed Otto in revenge over some petty dispute. See, we all know it wasn't really Martin. Well, my husband wouldn't let that rest. We all wanted justice. When the soldiers arrived and threatened us, all the townsfolk pulled away, except for you and Ulrich, Gret. No, Clara, I'm afraid even I was intimidated and begged Ulrich to leave the matter be. My husband alone stood with the peasants. I mean, it's clear the revolt wouldn't have succeeded if the townsfolk pulled away. It was like an army of soldiers versus sick and old and starving people. I don't want to say this. No, why did all the peasants revolt anyway? So many people died. They must have known it wouldn't succeed. Father Gurnet was a harsh lord. His rules and taxes left many of the family starving. By then, we were so starved and wanted justice so much, Peter truly thought success was possible. There was still some discussion. Ulrich and Andreas wanted peace. Then that fucking Miller protected that bastard. He always hated us, though thought he was better than us. Ursula, language! What, Mom? It's true. Lenhart even shot Ulrich out of nowhere. It was unprovoked? Yes, Lenhart always did hate the rest of the townsfolk, and he would have taken advantage of anyone he could. That's true, he was a jerk. My husband sought peace to the last. He was a martyr to us. I think the Miller shot Ulrich to retaliate, but after that, Peter couldn't be stopped. We'd lost too much. The burning of the abbey was a grim night, and the soldiers coming in. Our men fought to protect us, to protect Tassing, and many died in that fight. But we got rid of the abbot and all the monks, at least. Yes, that is some comfort, if only a little. Are there any heroes of Tassing I should memorialize? Dad, definitely. Peter always wanted the best for Tassing, even if he acted harshly by setting fire to the abbey. I hope you can portray him in the best light, Magdalene. No, he was like inciting violence. I don't want to portray that. I'd rather not talk about that night anymore. I hope we've provided enough insight for your work. You did, thank you. I'll let you get back to work. Thank you, Magdalene. I'm certain the mural will be beautiful. I'm excited to see this final mural. I spoke to them for that long? My goodness. Hello. Oh, I can go upstairs? Oh! Hey, Magdalene. Hello, Magdalene. Oh, I didn't realize I can go up here. Oh, ill Peter. Ugh. Okay, there's another farm over here as well, the Hansbauer farm. Oh, all of their livestock are put away for the winter. Ooh, a pity I can't visit this. I feel so sorry for Attilia. Their fields are gone ever since Martin left. Or died. He left on his own free will. Alright. Let's see, where else can I go? Probably to the north? Oh, Central Town. Okay, let's check the Alban Bakery first. Hello, is anyone here? Oh, this must be nice and warm. Oh, there's no one here. Okay, who else? The Steinar house. Hello, ladies. Veronica, Brigitte, Agnes. Madeline Druckerin, I didn't expect to see you today. How's your father? He's not well, honestly. Oh no, I'm so sorry. He'll be in our prayers tonight. Ours as well. Now then, is there something we can help you with, dear? Agnes, you're old. No, I have a small favor to ask. Oh, go on then, spit it out. If it isn't too much trouble, I'd like you all to recount what you remember of the revolt. I'm nearly done with my mural, but I need more details. I was so young, I don't remember much of that night. Oh, for that project of yours in the Wrath House, I'm afraid I won't have much good to say about the matter, but all right. Come sit down, Magdalene. Don't worry about helping with the wreaths. No, I'll help. It took me years to get the technique up from Mom's expectations, so you better off not helping. Oh, okay. Pa, you always did fine, Brigitte. I'll just sit here then and not help. It's so cool though. I wanna make one. So, Magdalene, what do you need to know to finish the mural? I was hoping to ask you more about the revolt. All I can remember was the flames when the abbey burned. What part of the revolt? The abbot starving us out of house and home? Otto's murder? I doubt that would be a good painting. It seems like the abbot of Cursaw wasn't on very good terms with Tassing. Everyone but that fucking Miller hated him with good reason. He only ever cared for how many pennings. Is it pronounced pennings? Is the F silent? He could get from us. Brigitte, don't forget to twist the ends in. Can't have it looking like a Christmas hedgehog. I'm getting there, Mom. I've looked after craft on my own for this long. I think I can manage this. Yes, well, with both our husbands gone, we just have to look out for each other. Let an old woman have her worries, huh? After what that bastard did. You mean Andreas? Dad said that Master Mallory made some mistakes, but he was just seeking justice. Justice? Pah. Not only did he intervene into Tassing's affair once, but to stick his nose in again. I could understand it the first time. He wanted to save that old monk. I dare say he saw the man as a father figure. And it was proven the prior was a witch, so I suppose he did some good for Tassing then. I think Voislav might be the one person left in Tassing who remembers the old prior. That's when the trouble started, I say. I thought we'd never see that Mallour again. But to come back and accuse your husband, Brigitte, when we all knew the abbot was the one at fault. Mom, stop it. It's all right, Brigitte. I want to hear everything. It was an outrage then, and still is. That bastard artist went and stirred up the mob after your husband. He got Martin killed, after he'd reformed and all. Otto had coerced Martin into supporting the revolt too. Then Andreas claimed he was an imposter of Martin. Because he was. Oh, God forgive me. But he deserved to burn in that fire. Mom, stop. That was nearly 20 years ago. Dad says the townsfolk didn't stand with the peasants as long as they should have. Well, I won't begrudge Klaus his opinion, even if he's wrong. It's a shame it had to happen at all. I think I knew the revolt was a bad idea from the start. Old Voislav would be the only one to know what happened inside the old church now, before the fire. Some like to say things were always this bad. That violence was the only way, but it wasn't. Life got worse over the years. It wasn't like this when I was a child, not in my grandparents' time either. Sure, the abbot was pinching the townsfolk and the peasants were suffering, but to go against the church? But like you said, things weren't always so bad. We fought to make things right. Well, the revolt didn't totally fail, did it? The abbot and the monks had left. The abbey may be gone, but Tassing has only traded one lord for another. The peasants were so angry over the abbot's perceived injustice, they thought they could make it right with even more injustice. Then the abbey caught fire and everyone ran, but by then the soldiers had arrived to stop them all. That soldier even warned Peter. but nothing would stop him besides steel. So nothing got better at all? No, not as I see it. The Lord is just as severe as the abbot was and threatens force at every turn. That's life. You can struggle and die to accomplish something and nothing changes. The dead are luckier. They died believing they changed something. We're stuck with a harsh reality. Oh man, this is so harsh reality here. This is all you've known, Magdalene. You've grown used to it. We all have. Thank you for sharing your story with me. It's important to share our suffering with the younger generations. Maybe they can change something. Good luck on your mural, Magdalene. Good luck, Magdalene. Oh gosh. Should I have been wiser with my time? Like, is there a specific number of people? Like, I can't ask everyone? It's okay. We'll go with the natural flow of where everyone is. I don't want to go to the Wrath House yet. Is anyone here? Is the doctor here? Maybe he went to visit Father. Oh. Ciao, Magdalene. Hello, Nazu. How are you? I am well. It's a bitter cold day today, no? The Alps are not kind during winter. Perhaps not, but the summers make up for it. Do they? Perhaps I shall come back then. But for now, I'm stuck here. It's a good thing that Balthus keeps his workshop so warm. We have been hard at work preparing for the Christmas feast. I think you will enjoy the beer. I'm looking forward to trying it. Balthus outdoes himself every year. Ah, a most dramatic and splendid man he is indeed. It'll be a feast to remember. I do hope to see you there. Balthus relies on good feedback. You know, I'll be there. Bene, bene. I must finish preparations. Until then, Magdalene. Hello, Balthus. Do you have a moment? Only one, I'm afraid. What can I do for you? I came across a book about the history of Tassing, and I was hoping you could help me read it. Oh no, not today. I'm far too busy for that at the moment. Naizu and I have our hands full preparing for the Christmas ale, you see? Of course, sorry to bother you. Not at all. Apologies. I couldn't be of more help. Oh, dang. Maybe I should have asked him about that book earlier, like before all of this Christmas season happened. Okay, we'll come back to the Wrath House later. Let's see who else we can inquire about the revolt. Maybe the mill? Oh, let's see what everyone... Let's see who's in this church. I really wish I could talk to Amelia more. Oh. No one's in here. Okay, the mill. The Miller house. Oh, look at these children. Ulrich, little Andreas, Anna. God bless you, Magdalene. Hello, Anna. How are you? Oh, keeping busy. There's always plenty to do around the house. How's the mural coming? Paul mentioned your progress is quite impressive. Oh, I'll have to thank him. That's high praise coming from a councilman. Truth be told, he always enjoys following your progress. I'll have to bring Andreas and Ulrich by sometime to see your progress. We won't get in your way, of course. I'm sure they'd love to learn about the process. You're all more than welcome, but watch your step. There's plaster everywhere. I've just mixed a new batch to keep the wall moist. It's hard to maintain the right texture when it's so cold out. Oh, I can imagine. I had a similar problem when I helped my mother in the bakery. Rolling dough in the winter was such trouble. We had to throw out so many batches that wouldn't rise. Your discipline is admirable, Magdalene. You know, I was a real rascal back in the day, skipped on working with my parents more times than I can count. But you're so hardworking, Anna. I can't imagine you making trouble. It's funny to consider, isn't it? I was a thief and a scoundrel. I remember that she stole some stuff. It started with cakes from my mother's table, still hot from the oven. Soon it was silverware, mugs, trinkets I found around town. Ulrich's little hat once belonged to Andreas Mahler, your father's friend. I stole it from his head. Of course, stealing is against the Lord's commandments. So my father would make me return everything if I hadn't eaten it already and march me to church to pray. Father Thomas grew accustomed to seeing me more often than Sunday mornings. What changed? I grew out of the habit over time. I think I started to see why my parents had such a devotion to the Lord. Stealing was my way of acting out. But when the trouble started in town, I realized that my thieving wasn't doing any good. Not to mention, I saw what happened to Martin Bauer. I decided I'd rather honor my father and mother as God commands. It gives me grace with Andreas and Ulrich on the hard days, and with the rest of the town too. I think everyone can learn from your example, Anna. Hopefully from my present one rather than my past. Well, I won't keep you any longer. I'm sure you have plenty of mural work to do. I'll see you later, Anna. God bless you, Magdalene. Is the wife here? Oh, Paul is here. Hello, Magdalene. Or the widow, sorry, not wife, widow. We can't go in there. Let's see who else we can talk to. Maybe people here in the inn? Oh, who's this now? Well, if it isn't Magdalene, that's me. Ah, good. I've seen you around and heard your name mentioned. I apologize for not introducing myself sooner. I am Alexander. This is my partner, Kazimierz. We are musicians by trade, travelers by necessity. The weather trapped us on our way back to Würzburg for a Christmas celebration. I had hoped to win the Meistersinger competition there, but alas, we are trapped here until the pass is clear. How are you finding Tassing? Everyone has been quite kind, and no one has thrown anything at me for my music. Considering the circumstances, I'm counting that as a success. I have to admit, I was quite upset that I had missed my opportunity to sing at the Meistersinger competition. Some bards. A traveling troupe. Oh! He practiced so much for it. Oh, he can't speak. Yes, it's hard not to view the last year as a waste. You can try again next Christmas, can't you? Of course. Though the older I get, the less comfortable I take in the possibilities of the future. Missed opportunities sting more with each passing year. You have an audience here, the people of Tassing. And perform for them I will. I love performing for people wherever I go. When I sing for people, I want to move them. I want to see it in their faces. It's only in that moment that I can connect with them. That's the only truth I know. What a true artist, performing artist. Meistersinger judges will rate me as they will, but that's not why I wanted to perform for them. I want to move the masters the way they moved me. Does that make sense? I think so. My dad's my teacher, and his approval means a lot to me. I think we all want the approval of those who came before us, and someday someone will look to me for approval. Hard to imagine. I'm sorry, just feeling a bit melancholy, I suppose. Cheer up, Christmas is here. Of course, in our darkest hours, the birth of our Savior reminds us that dawn will follow. Perhaps the Christmas feast will lift my spirits. Will I see you there? Absolutely. Almost everyone in town should be there. Then I look forward to it. Until then. Kazimierz. Oh, he can't speak. That's so cool. That's so cool that they represented this in the game. Hello, Magdalene. It's like different forms of communicating. You're Kazimierz, right? You're with Alexander, musicians. Yes, I play shawm and lute. He sings. Do you mind if I ask what happened to your voice? I like how it takes him longer. Like, it's not thinking. He's thinking and he has to write it out, so this takes longer. It makes you wait. Rather not. All right. I won't take up any more of your time. Thanks. God bless you. I wonder what he's writing on. It must be something that he can erase constantly so that it's not a waste. Hello, Magdalene. Hello, Hans. Do you need something? Just want to see what you were doing. Well, I was just about to leave. I have to meet Big George soon. Why? Stuff in the forest needs doing. Like what? To lift logs. Ah, they're doing the log lifting competition. I will be there. Why would you do that? We lift big logs to see who's stronger. It's a contest. Count me in. Does anyone participate? Not usually. There aren't many others in tasking strong enough other than Big George. I will compete. Simon's big like Sepp was, but he's not interested. He's always busy taking care of the farm. Maybe Apollo can join us one day. He's been getting stout the last few years. Alright, who's winning so far? George, but barely. I've been gaining on him. I feel like we've specifically, him and I have had this conversation before. He's growing older and softer with his council work. So this is a thing that men just do from time to time? Me and George, sure. I don't know about anyone else. You're welcome to join us, Magdalene. Heck yeah. You happen to have small logs that would suit me? Plenty of trees in the forest will find you what you need. Maybe I'd put some meat on your bones. Sure, maybe I'll drop by someday. Christ, George will get a kick out of that. Yeah, we've had this conversation. Him specifically. You mean it, right? Absolutely. Great. I should get back to work now. Until later, Magdalene. Until then. Yeah, we're definitely joining. Hello, Waislav. God bless you, Magdalene. Yuta? Hello, Magdalene. How's the weather? We've been preparing for the feast in here all day. Fresh and brisk, perfect for a walk. Better you than me. I'll stay in here where I can keep my fingers warm. You better keep your fingers out of my dough, Master Bauer. I didn't do anything. You snuck your little fingers into my cookie dough 3 times today. Do it again and I'll wrap your knuckles with the back of my spoon. Oh my goodness. Don't anger Mistress Matilda, Simon. Yes, sir. Sorry, Mistress Matilda. We need enough dough to make cookies for the entire town. You can't be eating it all. Anyways, what did you come for, Magdalene? I was hoping you could tell me what you remember of the revolt. I was too young to remember much of it. No one ever seems to talk about it, and Mistress Matilda and Master Waislav, you two are the only ones left who used to live in the Abbey. The only ones who stayed anyways. Matilda and I have been friendly enough with the people in the town. We put it behind us in time. You can imagine the other brothers had little reason to remain. Poor old Adoc's heart gave out that night. It was all too much for him. God rest his soul. I'm not sure what happened to the others. All gone, in any case. But the whole thing is a sensitive subject, Magdalene. Why are you asking? I want to portray the event truthfully in the mural, so I'm trying to hear everyone's account of events. For the sake of seeing it portrayed right, I'll tell you what I remember. Wait, Magdalene, here. Come cut out cookies with me first. That way we don't fall behind while we chat. We'd be grateful for the help. Oh, cute! Alright, Magdalene, cut out the cookies from the dough and set them aside so Simon can put them on a tray. We'll need a good number in a variety of shapes, so don't hesitate to change which cutter you use. We have to have enough for the whole town after all. Oh, let's just do it in order like this. Like, use up as much or as little space as possible. Okay, like this. Cut. What? Oh. That was so weird, it wouldn't do it. Oh, this will gain me some more space if I do it like this. Oh. But then this way it doesn't. See, that was a space saver, but now it's no longer a space saver. Oh well. Let's just cut it like this so it speeds it up a little bit more. But we can fit more if I just turn it. Sorry, I'm gonna be taking a while in this. I'm like really into cutting. I love cutting effectively. Or like efficiently, I mean. Making as much use of the space as possible. Oh, see, we can get so much more. I can't. Why, is it too close to the other one? See, if it was me, I can actually do that, but I guess it's saying that it's too close. Yeah, it was saying it was too close. Okay, let's pick a different shape. Why? Oh. Too close once more. Doesn't fit, but this one will fit. Right? What? It won't fit? Okay. Maybe this will. No? Like this? Okay, nothing will fit there. Fine. Oh, look, it has like, it looks like little coins. I hope they re-roll the dough, because there's a lot of wasted space in my eyes. Although I guess you should never truly use the very edge. I'm gonna have more birds than anything else. Ah. Oh no, I didn't mean to press it there. Whatever. I wonder if we can fit... Oh, we can! Nope. Are you done? Oh, Cookie Master achievement unlocked. These look wonderful. Thank you. You can make more if you want, but it looks like we have enough. Perfect. I think that's good for now. Thanks for helping, Magdalene. We better keep going if we're going to have everyone ready for by the procession tonight. So, what can we tell you, Mags? I heard the Landschnicks came into town before the revolt and warned everyone to leave the Abbey alone. Why didn't anybody listen? They were trained soldiers and they killed so many people. Oh, some people did. Your father, for one. He left the peasants' cause after that. He's never forgiven himself for that. That's why I'm making the mural. That won't bring any of them back, though, will it? Enough, Yetta. It's not Magdalene or Klaus's fault the revolt turned out so poorly. There were some people who wanted to talk. Master Mallory worked hard to keep the peace, but after Otto was killed... Oh, Andreas, a shame how he died. We at the monastery were fond of him. Dad said he was instrumental in keeping the revolt from getting out of hand. He regrets not standing by him. Yes, he was. He had a personal dinner with the abbot to try and discuss things, I believe. A pity they didn't come to an agreement. Yes, Andreas did a lot for Tassing, and Kershaw too. Even if the abbot failed to admit that. He even revealed corruption in our own midst. The old prior Ferenc had been doing witchcraft in the church. Oh gosh, poor Ferenc. I still grieve that he died in the Abbey fire. I know your father does too, Magdalene. But wasn't the revolt in general justified? Yeah. Yes, I think so. We couldn't even collect in the forest without a fee. Dad kept saying we couldn't live with higher and higher taxes. The night Otto died, the abbot was trying to excommunicate everyone for celebrating St. John's Eve. My gosh. A lot of people thought that the abbot killed him in revenge. It turns out it was that Jobst fellow. He was impersonating Martin. Had no idea until Andreas told us that night. Still, after Otto and Ulrich, that was too much. We burned the mill with both bastards inside. The abbot promised to help if Andreas found the person who killed Otto. All we wanted was to talk. Yeah, you mean no one was supposed to burn the abbey down? Why would anyone want that? We sought justice, not murder. It was too much for Peter. Lenhart was one thing. He just killed Ulrich, but to burn the abbey. But when the Landsknechts saw the fire, they thought they had another revolt on their hands. Even Father Gernot couldn't stop them. We all fled. Brother Florian saved as many as he could, but... Peter was wrong to burn the abbey, but what the soldiers did, that was awful. Dad died protecting me, stabbed in the chest. I don't even remember what he was wearing, but I remember how dark the blood was when we found him. Almost black and sticky like treacle. Dad socked one of the soldiers in the face, but another was right there and... Magdalene, can we stop talking about this? Hey, I just helped you with those cookies. Yes, thank you for talking to me. I'll do my best on the mural. Good luck. We'll see you at the procession later. Until then. Ooh, time to go to the commons for the Perchtenlof. But I want to go in the forest and lift logs. Maybe it's another time. Let's go celebrate. Everything looks so much more magical at night with snow. Christ, it's too damn cold. You shut your mouth, boy. We've done this festival every year. Look at him, he's like rocking out. You won't die standing here for 5 minutes. Oh good, you made it, Magda. I was getting worried you would miss a procession. I wouldn't miss Perchtenlof for the world. The costumes are just too wonderful to miss, aren't they? I remember the mask scared me when I was little. Shh, it's starting. Oh, Artemis, looks so lovely. I'd love to be the bright saint one year leading off the demons into the woods. Oh, look at these costumes. Oh. Yeah, get him, children. Oh yeah, yeah, wave fire at the children. That's the best way to go about it. That's the only type of boys that'll follow you, Artemis. Apollo, stop that. Sorry, Mom. Christina, see the Perchten? So scary. I don't like it. Shh, Andreas, you're alright. They're only costumes. Big masks that our neighbors are wearing, remember? It's so cold. Magdalene, do you want to be the bright saint or one of the Perchten? Yeah, I like watching. I don't want to be part of the procession. I enjoy watching. Oh, really? You're normally so outgoing. I guess watching is a better view, though. It doesn't seem fair. Artemis gets the bright saint since her dad is on the town council. You'll get your chance, don't worry. Tassing's done the perch den laugh as long as I can remember. Everyone in town's been part of the procession before. Well, except for you young ones, yet. I wish Dad could be here. He'll see next year, surely, and you can go home and describe it all to him. As beautiful as ever. As goddamn long as ever. Well, at least we're going to eat after this. Where are we all gathered? Is this the inn? Oh, hey, Mags. Magda, whatever. Mags. You've made it. I was worried for a minute you'd skipped out on the fun. Merry Christmas, Mags. Mags is such a cute nickname. Why is she so against it? Merry Christmas, Odds. Look, Baltus made a special batch of beer, and I heard you made cookies too. Alexander and Kaz look like they're going to play something too. I hope they play Christ Born on Christmas Day. That's my favorite. Which one is that? Odds, we sing it every year. We sing all of them every year, Mags. I can't keep them straight. Ahem. Hey, everyone listen up. George would like to speak. Ah yes, thank you, Veronica. On behalf of the town council, I wanted to thank everyone for coming tonight. Listen intently. Don't interrupt someone's speech. This year has been tough on all of us. We have had more snowfall than anyone can remember, and the early frost gave us a small harvest. Folk haven't come through the pass as often. Nico, you've been short on customers, and we've all missed the trade. Alexander and Casimir's, you've been kept from your journey. Naziu, the snow has kept you from returning home. And I know we've all felt the lack of Klaus in town, as he's been bedridden these past few months. And yet, the Lord has blessed us with each other, cheerful guests and good company. Cheers. Amen. God bless. Thanks be to God. Even though the season has been rough, God knows we still have a lot to celebrate this Yuletide. Endris, you've made tools we couldn't have gone without. Just practicing my trade. Dr. Stolz, you've kept us all in good humors. A proof of my experience, George, in such cruel weather. Keep listening. Magdalene, you've painted the mural for us. I only wish that my father were here to celebrate its close completion with you all. Yeah, or thank you for entrusting me with this task. I've done my best to honor Tassing's history. Alexander and Casimir, you've spread good cheer in the early winter nights. Our pleasure, truly. And especially tonight, I think we should thank Baltus for making such a wonderful beer for us to all enjoy. Huzzah! Hooray for Baltus. God bless. Hear, hear. No. Please. Naizu helped tremendously. It's thanks to him, really. Naziu? I don't know how to pronounce that. Oh well, grazie. And thanks to our Lord who has graciously provided for this feast. Lord protect him. Yeah. Thanks to the man's deep pockets. Cheers to him. Casimir's and I shall play later in the evening, so please come to us with songs if you have one in mind. Sing the Shepherd's Mistress. Let's have a dance. Oh well, that's it, everyone. If I may, George, I'd like to bless this great feast our Lord has provided for us. Of course, Father. Today we have come together to celebrate the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Just as our Lord has provided for us with the meal, so did Christ provide with the bread of life. So please join with me in prayer. Bless us, O Lord, and these thy gifts which we are about to receive. Oh, we haven't done this in a while because we haven't shared a meal with anyone. Through Christ our Lord, amen. Amen. I kind of miss doing that with Andreas, where you'd have meals with people. Amen. Now, please, everyone, I know Baltus made a fine beer, but remember that temperance is a virtue. Celebrate the Christ child as though his manger were here with us. That's not the whole point. Am I making these comments out loud? Or am I saying this? Because I haven't been saying, I know it's smaller font, but I don't want to be that snarky person making side comments during someone's speech. That's just not okay. squint quizzically. Merry Christmas, everyone. Finally, let's eat. Oh, look at this. Look at the kids. This one is Andreas? That's Ulrich, right? Eva. A golden Christmas. Magdalene, you finally came over to say hello. Hello again, Odds. Hello, Magdalene. Happy Christmas, Eva. Till. Magdalene, how good to see you. How is the mural coming along in the Rathaus? Almost finished with it, I hear? That's right. The last I heard about it, you were still working on the middle section, the history of the saints, right? I finished that section now. The old abbey ruins were a hard part to climb through, but I wanted to paint it right. Oh, but the remains of the abbey are so run down. That sounds dangerous. You went into the old abbey, Magdalene, without me? Of course I did. Quite a capable young woman you are, Magdalene. Till. Not that I'm encouraging it, mind. Well, clearly you can handle yourself since you made it back without any problems. And I did warn you about the dangers, not that I told you to go digging around about down there, mind. Anyway, Magdalene, what are you painting in the mural now? I'm working on depicting the revolt, but I think I angered Agnes when I asked her about it. That's right, you were just a few years old then. God, has it been that long? Oh dear old Agnes, the revolt made her bitter, especially after Martin was killed. I think that helping Brigitte with craft has helped her recover, but I'm not surprised she didn't want to talk about the revolt. It took years for Tassing to recover after that night. Thank God we've come a long way since then. Otto would be proud of what the town has accomplished. I think so too. You know, Magdalene, I think he would be especially proud of you for memorializing Tassing in the mural. He would be thrilled to think that you'd become part of the family. I'm honored you think so. Of course, Otz has been charmed by you for years now, and I don't blame him. You're a beautiful young woman. Are we getting married? Mom! We'll have to speak with Klaus, of course, but you and Otz are a good match. Oh, right. I'll mention it to Dad. I mean, I don't have any other choice. If I become like... I don't want to be like Ottilia. Well, she was widowed. But if you don't have any marriage prospects, I don't want to end up with the poor Claires. Alright, I'll mention it to Dad. Anyways, I don't mean to keep you chatting away with us older folk. Have fun, and Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Eva. Till. I mean, he seems like a nice guy. He's just drunk. Merry Christmas, Oz. Otz. Yeah, Merry Christmas, Mags. Veronica. Merry Christmas, Magdalene. Enjoying the celebration? Oh yes, I can remember the last time we had a celebration this big. It was a nice change of pace. Especially after having to work in this damn cold. I swear it seeps into your bones. Grandpa keeps saying there's been worse snows, but I swear I can't remember a colder winter. Pa, there were winters that came so early the crops froze before we could harvest them. We had to do a special perch-tin loft that year, burn the crops in offering. Next spring, we had double harvest. Of course you did, old man. Anyways, like George said earlier, it's nice to have a night of good company and cheer. You seem hesitant tonight, George. Maybe you should work on speaking in front of people? No. How about, thank you for mentioning my father in your speech, George. He'll be glad to know he was missed. You're welcome, Magdalene. Klaus is a good man, and we all miss him as part of the community. To be honest, I didn't expect to make a speech tonight. I just thought about what happened in town this year. Really? Werner kept insisting that someone make a speech, so Paul said that I was the most charismatic of anyone in the council. He said that? Well, he said I would make the least amount of people angry over it. Paul just says it was my charisma. Oh dear. To be honest, I never thought I'd be someone people in Tassing listen to. But you've always been part of the town council. We didn't always have a council, though. It wasn't until the night of the revolt, really, that I felt like I could do things on my own, be my own man. I loved my father, but what he did, I thought I had doomed the town. A lot of terrible things happened all at once. No one can shoulder all the blame themselves. No, but my dad chose violence. He chose to destroy the Abbey. I always went along with him because he was my dad. He had to be right. That night was the first time I thought any different. I learned that night that you can fight for something right and still choose the wrong way to do it. And I swore that I would never let that happen again. The revolt broke down everything I thought I knew about Tassing, about myself. But it made a lot of things better for Tassing, and that makes me hopeful. What do you mean? Well, our new lord is strict, but he made a deal with us. The council let us govern ourselves. As much as I was grumbling earlier today, George is right. Life changed in Tassing, and even the first few years were hard. We're better for it now. No abbot looking down on us, making stupid laws as he sees fit. Our lord lives days away. As long as we pay our taxes, we're left alone. It's a better life for Artemis and Apollo than what we had. Don't talk ill of my son, boy. He gave you everything he had, God rest his soul. I know, Grandpa. But that's the whole point, isn't it? Without the revolt, you wouldn't be able to give the twins a better life. In some horrible way, I guess that's right. God grant us courage to live with our actions. I've done the best I can to do right by the town and Dad. You're his son. You've done him proud, boy. Thanks, Grandpa. Anyways, I'm going for another pint. Anyone else? Yes, bring a pitcher. You've had enough, Grandpa. Your humors might become unbalanced. Another for me, George. Magdalene? Yeah, sure. Oh, I'll get myself another later, thanks. Alright, we'll see you later then, Magdalene. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone. So I guess I'm getting a little bit more tidbits of what goes on. Hello, Magdalene. Happy Christmas to you. Good evening, Magdalene. Merry Christmas to you too. Unlike Ulrich, Andreas, say hello to Mistress Druckerin. Hi. Hi. Oh, cute. Oh, Andreas, don't be shy. You know Mistress Magdalene. Sorry, Magdalene. He's a bit quiet. Hello, Ulrich. Hello, Andreas. How did you like George's speech, Magdalene? It's a good reminder of everything we still have. We all needed to hear it. For Paul putting him up to it at the last moment, it was well done. While Werner insisted someone in the council make a speech, I didn't particularly want it to be me, but George did it justice. You can always count on him to speak from the heart, especially a few drinks in. Truthfully, I think much of the town needed some encouragement tonight. Tassing hasn't had such a hard season since the revolt. Yes, I'm sorry. It's Christmas. We shouldn't speak of such sad times. Let's toast to better days then. Cheers to that. Although there's an old Latin proverb my dad used to say to me, Ignis aurum proit miseria fortis viros. Fire is the test for gold, misery is the proof of strong men. Yeah, I've heard this before. A saying from Ovid. Was it? I never knew. There's no question the revolt left Tassing worse off, but seeing the town now gives me hope. You're an artist, Magdalene. I think you can see it too. Yeah, I think I do. Things seem brighter for Tassing somehow. Yes, those miserable days gave us the resilience we needed to push ahead to make things better. The next generation, like you or Yuta and the twins, you saw what it was like to fight for ourselves, to stand up to tyranny even at the cost of losing our homes and lives. To be honest, most nights I'm grateful for the revolt. Oh gosh. How can you be grateful for something so terrible? That sounds so privileged. You wouldn't remember, but life was already terrible before that night. The revolt burned away the dead wood that had rotted Tassing for decades. God knows my father was an evil man. His death released me from years of fear. The revolt gave me the courage to face him, to become better than him. I think something of the same happened when the Abbey was destroyed. If things had gone on as they always did, well, I doubt we'd be having such a Yule feast tonight. The cost was high, but it resulted in just as much joy as grief. I haven't thought of it about... I hadn't thought about it that way. Because of the revolt, I could marry Paul, and we can supply grain to peasants at a fair price. Our children will grow up without the fear that ruled over my life as I got older. No moment in life is entirely good or bad, Magdalene. What matters more is how we choose to see it. That's a wonderful way to look at it, Anna. Thank you. Oh well, it's something I learned from one of Father Thomas's sermons. I took it to heart when my father died. Don't forget to take some time to have fun tonight, all right? Mommy, I want another cookie. Shh, don't yell, sweetheart. Excuse us, Magdalene. It seems we have cookies to fetch. Of course, Merry Christmas to all of you. Merry Christmas, Magdalene. We can speak to Werner up here. Merry Christmas, Magdalene. A festive Yuletide to you, my dear lady. Merry Christmas to you all. How are you enjoying the feast? What a stirring speech by that Big George. His wonderful voice is just perfect for speeches. I don't think he likes giving speeches. A shame. We're just discussing the history of Christmastide, Magdalene. It's most intriguing. Oh, do continue. I'm eager to learn more. It's a most sacred season. Without Jesus, how could we be brought out of sin? As Malachi said, Jesus is the Son of Righteousness, a symbol of the dawn of a new era. The sun. The Romans also celebrated a sun god, Sol Invictus, right around this very time of year. Emperor Aurelian even found an imperial cult in which Sol played a prominent role in their Mithraic mysteries. What's a Mithraic mystery? It's nonsense. Jesus is not some sort of pagan sun god. As Saint Augustine said, it is the most fitting time to celebrate the nativity of Christ. He who bent low and lifted us up chose the shortest day, yet the one whence light begins to increase. Oh, what are your thoughts on the history of Christmas, Baltus? I find the practical matters of it most enlightening. Christmastide is the last feast before the cold of deep winter. Our lives are so dependent on the progress of seasons. Cattle are slaughtered to lower the cost of feeding them. We indulge in the sacrificial meat before the months of starvation. And so they keep us alive. Just so. In Genoa, we remember the Roman roots of Christmas, Saturnalia, as it was called, the winter solstice. Many of the traditions and rituals are borrowed from the Romans. Rome may have had the first celebration, but the Arian heresy should thereafter was a severe misstep. Soon thereafter. How so? Arianism went against Trinitarian doctrine, arguing that Jesus, the Son, was distinct from God the Father. We are fortunate Emperor Constantine put an end to this grievous error. And we are fortunate Charlemagne was crowned on Christmas Day, else his popularity may not have recovered. Ah, you're ever grim. Lighten your mind, Werner. I rather enjoy your Christ Kindle? The gift bringer. A most joyous idea. So did the children... Oh, is this the Santa? Christ Kindle? They love getting gifts. As do I. Ultimately, however, true, the various elements of Christmas, it's good because it unites the community. That is why we are here, to feast and be merry, and partake in the most splendid beer that has been brewed. Salutations to you, my friend Baltus. Indeed, it's truly excellent. Well done, Baltus. I admit it is most palatable. You're all too kind. There's plenty to improve. Then I will help you hone the formula. How about you, Magdalene? I could help if Baltus so wishes. We shall see when the new year comes. I may need some assistance. What a profitable company we would be. You intend to stay in Tassing even after the snow has melted? I'm in no rush. The bank could survive for a moment without me. But my friend Baltus here, maybe less so. I've done very well so far, thank you. It's the season for giving, is it not? Won't you be in trouble for delaying your return even farther? Trouble. What does a tiny bit of trouble matter to Nazio Agostini? Becoming stuck in Tassing is surely an act of God. I cannot control the weather. I am where I am meant to be. Say Alexander and Casimir's play such delightful songs. Perhaps a dance later, Why not? Until later, gentlemen. And there was one more here. Oh, Endris. Happy Christmas, Magdalene. Magdalene, dear. Merry Christmas, Magda. God bless. Merry Christmas, everyone. How are you enjoying the feast? Utterly delightful. Man, all of this is since it's actually close to Christmas, we're about a few days away from Christmas here, and this is making me feel the spirit. It's nice that it's coinciding with my actual holiday. A hearty meal, a mug of Baltus's latest brew, everything a soul could wish for. It's everything your ample belly could wish for. I am as God made me in his infinite wisdom. I can see you're all in a great mood. Impossible not to be when I look at all the families gathered here tonight. The laughter of children running around, the love that brings the community together. We are blessed. Oh my gosh, these are such bitter things to say. It's certainly better than all the arguing. As long as you have moments such as this to realize that we matter to each other. Well said, darling. To the four of us. Naz Zdravi? Salut. I'm so happy I married you, Endris. The day I was inspired to come find you in Innsbruck was the most important day in my life. Ah, love at long last. We know the feeling, don't we, Voislav? The path before us was filled with thorns and thistles, but we endured. Make sure to prepare for that, Magdalene. There will always be some thorns in the path. I'll do what I can. You'll do fine, you're strong and stubborn, just like your mother. I never knew my mother. She was gifted, pragmatic, outspoken. Her spirit lives on in you. I hope so. Well, I'll let you continue with the celebrations. Stay safe, dear. Make most of this night. You've earned it. Bless you, Magdalene. Enjoy the feast. God bless you. You know, I saw that question popping up about, like, so where are the kids? I don't like it when people ask questions like that. I feel like that's too intrusive. Alright, Mistress Magdalene, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Alexander. Merry Christmas, Casimir. Enjoying the night? Very much so, the cookies especially. I haven't had such wonderful gingerbread in ages. We were just setting up to perform. Did you have any particular song in mind you want us to play? Between the two of us, we all know the Christmas songs between here and Spain. Ooh. Which is the song that I said I liked? What about Be Welcome to Us, Lord Christ? Or what about Heaven Above? Okay, let's just pick this one. Ah, classic. We know that one well. Once Kaz and I play what we prepared, we will be sure to play that one. Merry Christmas, everyone. Since it's Christmas, Casimir's and I wanted to share a special song with all of you in the spirit of giving. Please enjoy.
In dulce jubilo, nun singet und seid froh.
Oh, look at everyone gathered.
Sonne liegt in Praesepio und leuchtet als die Sonne Matris in Gremio. Alpha es et O, Alpha es et O.
Bravo, cheers, another, well done. Sorry, I stayed quiet during that just so that you can enjoy the music, but it also started raining here, so hopefully the microphone doesn't pick it up. Thank you, truly. Please return to your drinks. We'll be playing all night. Happy Christmas! How lovely. Big George. Hey Magdalene, sorry to bother you during the feast. Oh, hello George. Did you need something? Well, all the chatter around the revolt earlier had me thinking, you're nearly done with the mural, aren't you? The last time you talked with the council, you said you were working on the final portion, painting the revolt. I don't mean to nag during the feast though, that's Veronica's job. I should have it done soon. I've been listening to people around town talk about the revolt so I can get a better idea of how to paint it. Everyone has a different idea of how that night happened. But I think I finally settled on how I want to depict it. Yeah? I want to honor what the peasants stood for. I'll show Otto giving a speech and the soldiers in the distance. Or I'll paint the peasants burning the abbey and the mill, and the Landsnicks defending the monks. I don't like that one. I think I'll show the aftermath of the revolt and paint the ruined abbey surrounded by everyone who died and their families. Ooh. For me, it's a tough one between this and the first one. Because this is the spark for me. This is kind of impersonal. This shows Otto like an actual person. But also the aftermath kind of honors everyone. This might be a little bit too threatening. The soldiers in the distance. Like it's showing impending threat, right? I'm trying to think of what's the best way to make everyone happy, honoring the dead and still trying. I know it's impossible to make everyone happy. This might make the Lord unhappy because it shows the soldiers specifically in the background. This one, the last one, shows not just Otto, but the families, the people that were involved. Like what the revolt itself happened, but then there are people who have to live with it, you know? And these are the people that have to live with it. And that's this one. Showing the aftermath shows where the revolt led. This one just seems too impersonal. Oh, I'm so torn. Okay, I don't want to seem threatening to the Lord. So maybe I'll show the aftermath, because that is their current situation, that they're living in this aftermath of this revolt. And it does show the ones that were affected directly by someone losing someone. So I think this one will be the most current or relevant to the time. I'll show the aftermath of the revolt and paint the ruined abbey surrounded by everyone who died and their families. I don't know if that's such a good idea. The mural was meant to honor Tassing, not stir up grief. That is true, but it is... Maybe Klaus was the better pick to paint the mural after all? What? Anyways, I'll get out of your way. You've got better things to do. I think Otz was looking for you too. I don't know. I'm certain he is. I think I'll actually go home for the night. I've had enough of Otz flirting and I should check in on my dad. Tell him hello from all of us, alright? I will. Good night, George. Did I make the wrong decision? I don't want to show grief. For me, that aftermath is like honoring the families. I don't know, for me. Good night, Magdalene. It's like, for me, it's giving the families that lost someone dear to them, like a place of honor. But I can see how it's showing grief. Oh, Amarii. God bless you, and Merry Christmas, Magdalene. Hi, Amarii. Oh, Merry Christmas, Sister Amarii. Were we bothering you with the noise next door? No, not at all. Hearing people celebrating Christ's birth brings me joy. Christmastide should be a heartening time of year for us all. I think there's something healing about coming together to celebrate Christmas. Yeah, there is. All of us are part of the body of Christ. When we come together in fellowship, things are made whole. People need Christmas in the depth of winter to remind them that spring will return and we will all have a chance to live again. Magdalene, who is that? Who is that? Hey, wait. Please excuse me, Sister HeyAmarii. I need to check on my father. Of course, God bless you. Thank you, sister. Oh, who is that? The door is open? Is someone here? Dad? Oh no, what am I gonna find? Oh gosh, I'm afraid of what I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see something that I don't like. Oh, thank God. Magdalene, is that you? What's the matter? I don't want to worry him. Oh, it's nothing, Dad. Just checking in on you. I always appreciate it. I'm worried about you, Magdalene. You're worried about me? You're working too hard. I know taking care of me takes up so much of your time. And I know how hard you've been working on the mural. I know how important it is to you. For you to work this hard, it has to be important to you. It is important to me. I'm not going to make it, Magdalene. I know. It's all right. Oh no, I feel so sad. This is just life. I'm glad I'm going before you, even if it's sooner than either of us would like. Oh my gosh, I'm actually getting really sad. I've already seen too much death in my time. I just wanted to show you what I could do. I wanted you to be proud of me. I have been every day of your life. You've never needed to prove anything to me. I wish I could stay to see the mural when you finish it, but I don't need to. I know it will be more beautiful than anything these old hands have ever made. Don't say that. It's true though. I mean, I got along all right. But I always knew you would surpass me before long. You can already see things that I never could. See things and make them real. I'm trying. You're doing it. Whether I die tonight or tomorrow or the next day, I'm not going to be here much longer. One morning you're going to wake up and you'll have to do things for yourself. Love things for yourself, and you'll have to share it with the world. Love is the only reason to do anything in this life. Oh, all this talking, too much. Could you bring me something to eat? Of course, Dad, you haven't eaten all day. And I missed the Christmas feast too. I can't believe no one brought me a cookie. I'll go get some soup. Oh gosh, I'm so heartbroken. I didn't expect to be so... I mean, I knew it was coming. It just... It still catches me off guard that I get really sad about stuff like this in video games. Shit! No, come on! Klaus. I'm sorry, Klaus. About everything. You're here. What? What? I don't understand. I thought I could stop all this? Why would I? Huh? I thought I could stop all this. I've been trying to figure it out this whole time. I'm insanely confused. After the fire, it's all I could think about. That and them. They never left me. They're still all there, all in the dance of death. That's the mural that's in the Abbey. An artistic allegory on the constancy of death, illustrations often feature people from every station of society to communicate that death inevitably claims everyone, from peasant to emperor. The Baron, Piero, Ferenc. Martin, Peter, Otto, Kaspar? Kaspar's dead? August? What? August? And now you. Andreas's son? Dad? Kaspar is dead? Oh god, it's you. Who? Who are you? What are you doing to my father? Magdalene, it's alright, it's alright. I'm sorry I've forgotten my manners after all these years. And you've likely forgotten my face or what it once was. Is this Andreas? Magdalene, this is Andreas Maller! Back from the dead. Holy shit. The earliest memory I have is of you running into a burning library. I'm sorry. I don't understand. No one could have survived that. Maybe I shouldn't have, but I did. I don't understand, Andreas. Where have you been all these years? Hiding from the world. In the ruins, mostly. Sometimes in the woods when it was warm. Stealing bread from Gret, stealing books from you. Oh, so I wasn't going crazy. It's the only thing that's kept my mind from forgetting what words are. What the hell? Wait, how did you survive the fire? With some difficulty. I grabbed as many books as I could and threw them into the scriptorium. When the smoke got too thick, I started to black out. The next thing I remember was Kaspar pulling me into the crypt. Your apprentice, the boy? You sent him back to Salzburg. He didn't leave. He waited in the woods and watched what was happening. When he saw me in the window of the library, he ran through the crypt to save me. And he did. But he saw I was trying to save the books and he went back in. I couldn't stop him. I was barely conscious. He never came back out, Claus. When I woke up, everyone was dead or gone. No, Kaspar, I'm so sad. I don't know. I thought it was okay. I couldn't face any of you. I couldn't go back to Sabine, that empty house. So I hid. No, I don't think she's trying to kill him anymore. You painted over the Dance of Death in the Abbey. It turns out I had a reason to keep painting. I'm sorry if I scared you. No one's come into the Abbey for years. I thought it was... whoops, sorry. I thought I was safe there. I was afraid to talk to you, afraid to talk to anyone. Oh gosh, he's gone full nutso. No, I know he's not the one that left the purple writing. What changed? Why are you here tonight? To help you, to help Klaus. Help me? Help me with the mural? Help you survive to finish it. The hand that tried to kill your father will likely strike again. It has killed before to prevent Tassing's history from being known. Tassing's history? Why? Because Tassing's real history is at odds with the story we've all been told. It's been covered bit by bit, layer by layer, until it could no longer be seen. But it's still here. It's always been here, hidden beneath our feet. And it's still protected, haunted by the specter of death that has hung over this place for generations. The thread puller. Thread puller? Beneath our feet? What are you talking about? The person who attacked your father is the same person who manipulated someone into killing Otto Zimmermann and Lawrence Rothvogel. Yes, and they traveled through the Roman aqueduct that connects Tassing and Kearsau. It's a network of tunnels. I've become quite familiar with it, and I've seen the ghost that haunts them, that can squeeze through the tiniest opening. I've seen it bend itself in half to reach places I could never follow. I've traveled along every inch of the aqueduct and the old city, but there's one place I have never found. The lair where the thread puller retreats to, the ancient Roman temple that is determined to hide from view. The Mithraeum, you found it? No, but I mapped out the darkness between the collapsed tunnels, and I believe I know how to get there. Come with me, I'll show you. Now? If the thread puller becomes aware of what we're doing, well, I don't know what they'll do. We need to act quickly. Will you be all right? Yes, I'll be fine. Protect my daughter, Andreas. Let's go, Andreas. Andreas Magdalene duo. With my life, Klaus, I promise. Alright, let's find the Mithraeum. Oh, this is so exciting. Andreas is back. I feel okay. Oh, what a twist. The Rathaus? What are we doing here? When the men dug the foundation, they found Roman ruins that had been buried over time. Lucky never wasted stone, so he used the Roman wall as one of the cellars. There's a way inside. To the hidden place. Are you alright? Yes. Alright, into the Rathskeller. Oh man, it's so nice to have Andreas here. The heartbreak after losing him, he was such a likable character to play. Alright, that wall is different. Does that mean this is the place? No, it's two-sided. Old and new. This was above ground once. It carried water. Look. Alright, I think I can make it out. Cornelius today and 6 Mithraeum. Cornelius goes to the baths today and completes the 6th rank in the Mithraeum. You see? No, I most certainly do not see, Andreas. Well, here. Oh, geez. Okay. Goodness, he's a strong man. A warning would be nice. Oh, sorry. I'm not used to being around people. This is the aqueduct. The aqueduct carries water to the baths, so you think this will take us to the Mithraeum. Exactly. You seem quite confident. I know it exists. I know where it is not. I believe this is the only place it could be. It must be near the baths. Well, you already smashed a hole in the wall, so I suppose we might as well look. After you, please. Let's go, Andreas! Oh, it's so good. Oh, this story's so good. Act 9, Manu Propria. Oh, 8. That said 8. My bad. Bathhouse. Let's see what's in this bathhouse. Anything through here? What if I missed something like past there? Actually, they said it was through the bathhouse. Let's look through here. Yeah. Let's go all the way to the end. If there is an end. Ah, there is here. This part of the tunnel has collapsed. We're not getting to the Mithraeum this way. I think. Yes, Kaspar and I found a collapsed section of the aqueduct near town. We didn't find out what was on the other side. I wouldn't let him explore it. I should have taken more care with him. Andreas, we can't do anything about that now. Yes, of course. You know what would be wild if Kaspar was also came back from the dead? I don't know. I feel so sad about Kaspar. The decoration, these must have been the baths. It doesn't look like there's a way through. Silt, all the floods kept carrying it down here. Hundreds of years of floods. What if we can't get through? What if it's buried forever? I don't know. Maybe some things are just lost to time. Well, let's see if there's another way out of here. There isn't, though. Unless this way. Oh! More stairs down. Would something be below the baths? Hypocaust? They use warm air to heat the rooms above. Roman colonies in the north often had them. Let's hope those haven't filled with silt as well. The hypocaust? Hippocaust? Hypocaust? Oh. Whoa. This is scary. What if this all comes down? Do you know where we're going? These pillars just kind of go on in all directions. Andreas, could you look that way? I think I'm trying to explore ahead. I'm going to try exploring ahead, of course. Oh, I'm him. I don't have a light source, though. How could you abandon your work, Andreas? I thought you were a true master, a master of your craft, but all you created was misery. Oh no, the voices in my head. The only thing more pitiful than watching you work in that scriptorium was your love of that dying art. Oh no, the voices of the dead haunt me. Sorry, if you hear something in the background, that's the rain. Oh, why is the camera shaking? You couldn't leave a good thing well enough alone, could you? How many bodies have you left in your wake? I'm losing my mind. Master, why did you send me back into the flames? No, Gaspar, it wasn't me. You were too loyal, you foolish boy. How could you do this? Oh my god, this camera shake is killing me a little bit. Oh, I'm in my mind. No, no, this isn't right. I can't be here right now. How did I get here? Andreas, you're still here. Yes, for a little longer. I thought I had gone mad. No, not yet, not entirely. But you have been on this road for a long, long time. You must leave this place forever, Andreas. You must abandon it for good. But how? What can I do? I don't even know how I got here. This was once a place of refuge for you, Andreas. But it has become a prison. A prison you constructed to protect yourself. From what? From pain, from risk, from life itself. But I can't stay here. I have to help Magdalene. How do I get out? Andreas, you are the architect. I will help you as best as I can, but you are the one who can answer that. I don't want to be trapped in my mind. Oh no. I am trapped in my mind. Hello, Andreas. Is it you, Sabine? Of course, I'm still here. Part of me will always be here with you. We haven't talked in so long. Why? Everything fell apart. That doesn't mean we couldn't have put it back together. I don't know how to. No one does. I wish you had given us another chance. Too late. I do too. It may be too late for us, but it's not too late for you, Andreas. It's not too late for Magdalene. Yes, Magdalene. I have to help her. You can, Andreas, but you have to leave this place behind for good. I know, I can. I will. You will. Thank you, Sabine. Will I ever see you again? Not in this place. But maybe someday, in a better place. In a better dream. I've gone off my rocker. Why does this maze keep popping up, though? What is this labyrinth? Is this to represent the tunnels beneath Tassing? Is that what it's meant to be? Master, oh no, Caspar, Master Andreas. Oh, Caspar, it's really you. It's so good to see you again, Master. How can you say that? You died because of me. I just wanted to help you, Master Andreas. You couldn't think straight. You shouldn't blame yourself anymore. I let my family down. I let you down. I couldn't stop Peter, couldn't save Tassing. I couldn't even save more than a couple armful of books. You did what you could, Master. Everyone knows you did. And that is all any of us can do. All right, Caspar. Thank you. Thank you for everything you taught me. Aw, that's so heartbreaking. Wait, what happened? This was the way out. Before I started talking to Caspar, I know this was the way out. Your mind is fighting back at itself, Andreas. It remembers the pain of life. It's trying to protect you from it. Beatrice? Yes. I thought you were gone. You brought me back. Oh. So what do I do now? Keep going. I go back? Is there a way to, like, force this? Okay, no, there isn't. Oh, goodness, this is a long way. Come on. No, I have to go all the way back to the center? Oh my god. This maze. I really wonder what it's meant to represent. Oh, there's a way through here. Oh, August. You too. It's been so many nights, so many years without seeing your face. I thought I'd forgotten it. This poor boy. I know there's nothing I could have done, but that doesn't make me feel any less guilty. I always try there under the surface no matter how I try to bury it, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this. It's alright. What? It's alright, Daddy. Oh, he's speaking. He never spoke before. It is? You don't have to hide here anymore. I'm scared, August. I know. But that's why you can't stay. There are people who need you. It's so hard to let you go. I know, Daddy. But you have to. I know. You're right. Thank you. I love you, Daddy. I love you, too. Good night, August. Good night. Oh, this... incredibly heartbreaking. They shifted again, the walls. It's still trying to protect you. No. It's not? No, I mean, no, I don't have to do this. This is my mind, my maze, and I'm leaving. Good. But this next part might be confusing. Mary Magdalene? What? I don't understand. I don't understand any of this. Why are you holding the maze? Two things are merging in your mind. You and... there are layers of it to everything, even our memories. Over time, the foundations become buried. We can no longer recall how we got here, no longer recall what came before. And what came before? Our Lady, watching over the labyrinth as I watch over you. And even this has roots that reach deep into the past. There was not always a lady to watch over the labyrinth, but there was a labyrinth. What? I don't understand. Sister Amelie? Is this real? Am I still in my mind? You are here with me. And we are here in spirit. What? Are we still in the ruins? We are in the tabernacle, the heart of the labyrinth. Your spirit was wandering and the Lord brought you here. But I don't understand, how did you leave your cell? I have not. We are only here in spirit, Andreas. Is this real? Am I finally experiencing what I have only read about in Testimony of Mystics? I told you long ago that reading cannot communicate a spiritual experience, but yes, this is real and you need not be afraid. Okay. Is Amelie the murderer? Because I had suspects. I'll talk about it after I'm done with the game. I didn't want to sway anyone's opinions as I was playing. I wanted to remain a mystery, but I really have had my suspicions this whole time. Have faith. If you're here with me, it's the Lord's will. Andreas? Sister Amelie? What are you doing here, sister? This is the center of the labyrinth, the tabernacle. It is where the Lord sends my spirit to do His will. He has also guided your spirits here. There must be a purpose to it. Sister, we're looking for the Mithraeum. Is this it? I think that's past now. What do you mean? The Lord's will? What do you mean? I do not know myself. I do not dare to comprehend, only to serve. And it is my duty to answer when I am called. The Lord has called me to this place for many years. He has always made His will known to me. Soon He will make it known to you. Sister, how does your spirit come to this place? Through the door between life and death. Okay, stop speaking so cryptic. Speak plainly. When my spirit hears the call, it descends through my grave. So you dug down from your grave. Here the Lord tells me what messages I must bear and to whom. You deliver messages? Yes, once long ago I was a scribe. She did leave the letters. I copied many works of the great church doctors, Origen in particular, but that all ended with a fire. It ended with my life. Wait. I thought I had given up the pen forever until the visions returned. No. When the fire took my abbey, I couldn't save my sisters. Her writing changed to purple. Holy shit, not one. All I could grab was a single book and a blot of cloth. I couldn't understand why God had spared me alone. But he showed me. God had a higher purpose for me, for my hand. Father Thomas explained it to me. He makes everything clear. He tells me what I must do, what the Lord wills me to do. It was you. This whole time, you wrote the notes. I found one by my dad when he was attacked. Sister HeyAmarii, you pushed those people into committing murder. What? No, that can't be true. The Lord would not use me for such a purpose. That's what happened, sister. You wrote those notes. And people were murdered because of them. No, I wouldn't. He wouldn't. There is nothing in his messages about murder. No. I am not here. This can't be happening. This can't be happening. Okay, so she is not a murderer, but she did write those notes. See? Oh. Well. Sister HeyAmarii, shh, it's all right. Father Thomas, how did you get down here? Tassing is an old place. It's buried many ancient roads and tunnels over the centuries. People walk above the hidden ways every day without ever even knowing it. Though in truth, it was Sister HeyAmarii who rediscovered them and found this place. Father Thomas, did you? In other circumstances, I would be overjoyed to see you, Andreas. In truth, I'm still happy you are alive. Thank God. But I think the occasion of this reunion leaves little to rejoice about. You and Sister HeyAmarii were behind all of the murders? No, she had no part in this. But the notes, she wrote them. She did, but she did not understand their purpose. I guided her. I told her what to write. You abused her love and her trust for your own purposes. He who wishes to follow love's way must regard neither cost nor shame, nor pain. He must stand to everything, even her most terrible commands. I am ashamed to admit it, but yes, I did. To what end? What is the point of all of this? Look around you. What do you see? Roman ruins. Look closer. It looks like the statue of St. Moritz from the meadow, and the images of St. Satia from the shrine. I don't understand. It's St. Moritz and St. Satia, and Mars and Diana. How can it be both? When the Romans left Tassing, their buildings, their temples, their statues remained. Christians settled here centuries later. They found time-worn fragments of that imperial grasp. The statue of Mars, Pater, once watched over the Roman fields stood there, still, headless and nameless. The settlers believed it was St. Moritz, who was already a legend where they had come from. They found the shrine to Satia, not understanding that she was an aspect of Diana, believed she was another local saint. So the people turned them into saints? Sanctity and sainthood exist outside of what people believe, Magdalene. People cannot turn something into a saint any more than they can unmake the divinity of Christ. But they knew of the saints and learned local legends of the region and applied them to the figures they found here. No one knew they were Roman gods because there was no account of what the Romans did and left here, except for Historia Tassiae. But Historia Tassiae was not known then. Perhaps it had not even been written then. Who knows how long the books had been lost for before it made its way to Father Matthias. And you killed him for it. Yes, with poison. No one suspected. You killed some. Well, well, I know this. Okay, she doesn't. Well, okay, player knowledge. Hold on. Who is Father Matthias again? I know who that was. This is a guy that came before even Andreas came. May God forgive me, I did, yes. When Father Matthias learned that there was no evidence that St. Moritz had ever come to Tassing, that the shrine to him in the meadow was the statue of Mars and the Romans had erected hundreds of years ago, that Saint Satia was the Roman goddess Diana, he resolved to deal with it. And you resolved to deal with him. Andreas, our people believe in Saint Moritz. They believe in the miracles God has worked through his hand. And they believe in the legend of Saint Satia, that she helped Moritz and watched over Tassing still. And that was worth killing the abbot? I believe it was then, yes. If Saint Moritz never came to Tassing, what is the reliquary? What are the pilgrims coming to see? What does it mean for the people who prayed to him, to Saint Satia, and believed their prayers were answered? What does it mean for the church that has given people hope, fixed like a false star in a dark sky? What if the people had reason to doubt the validity of saints? Can they doubt the church? Can they doubt the gospel, the word of God? People must have suspected something odd over the years, Father. Suspicion is not proof, especially when no one really wants to know the truth. People have faith in spite of doubt. That is why I've worked to preserve the legends of our saints. You are preserving a lie. I preserve a lie to illuminate greater truth. God so loved the world that he gave his only son. If you believe this, if you truly believe this, eternal life is yours. And saints have walked among us, and their relics work miracles, and they hear our prayers and answer them. And the two that protect this town were never here. They don't need to know that, Andreas. There are times when God feels so far away from us in these mountains. But a peasant in Tassing can stand in a field, look over our valley and say, St. Moritz was here. God was with us and he is with us still. And he will always be with us. And he will be with us always, sorry. And that is the truth. Even as the legends of Moritz is a lie. So many people have died because of what you've done. I know this is hard to believe, but I was trying to save lives, to prevent death. But one murder didn't solve the problem, did it? Because one day Baron Rothvigel rolled into town with another copy of Historia Tassiae, a copy he promised to give to the abbot so Kersal could come to terms with its past. And if Father Gurnet read its contents, he would be facing the same danger you saw in Father Matthias. In retrospect, given how Father Gurnet chose to run the abbey, my fears may have been unfounded. That sentiment didn't prevent you from doing it again. You're right, it didn't. But then why Otto? Certainly he didn't have anything to do with Historia Tassiae. He couldn't even read. In the end, his murder provoked Peter and the others into destroying the abbey. I never thought that would happen. I underestimated Peter's anger and the peasants' frustration. So you killed him to prevent an uprising, but it caused it instead. Someone else killed him, as someone else killed Baron Rothvigel. What? And it wasn't to prevent an uprising, but to stop him from showing people what he found. Wait, so there's a third? What he found when he was helping to dig the foundation of the Rathaus. Wait, so he killed the first one that was there. Was it Prior Matthias? Prior Matthew? And then someone else killed the other two? The wall of the aqueduct? No, everyone knows about the old aqueducts. That wouldn't cause alarm. What he found was a stone head. The missing head of the statue in the meadow, the statue at the shrine of St. Moritz. How did it wind up over there? The most likely culprits are rain, floods, and time. Black Till told me that farmers find old tools and pottery in the field every year. Yes, and this head remained hidden for centuries. It sat in the soil until Otto found it. He was going to show everyone that God had favored the town with his discovery. What Otto could not have known is that our shrine statue was not of St. Moritz, because Otto could not read the words chiseled across the helmet, Mars Pater. But the man he entrusted with this information, the town priest, could... Yes. And you told him to meet you in St. John's Eve at the Rathaus. I could not let him destroy our town's beliefs. And you had poor Sister Amalie write down what you told her were visions she couldn't remember, and deliver them in the dead of night to Guy, to Hannah, to Martin? So that one of them would murder Otto just as someone murdered Lorenz? What about my father? I'm sorry, Magdalene. Why did you do it? It doesn't make any sense. Was it because of the mural? Yes. Klaus pursued the project with the determination of a guilty man doing penance. He kept digging and digging for answers about Tassing's past, Kirsaw's past. I was afraid that sooner or later he would find out about Moritz, Satya, this place, everything. So you tried to kill him? No, I tried to scare him. First with the note, but he ignored it. I thought if I ransacked the workshop it would scare him off. I didn't expect him to come down so quickly. It was just an accident. It wasn't an accident. You almost killed him. I know. So what are you gonna do now? Kill me? Kill Magdalene? No, of course not. I have neither the means nor the will to do so. But even if I can't stop you from telling people what I've done, I can stop them from finding this place. Ah! He's gonna end up killing us anyways. Damn, he's strong. No, Father Thomas, stop. It's too late for me, but I can still take Tassing's secrets with me. Okay, grab Sister Amalie and let's get out of here. He wants to die. Father, you're going to kill us all. You're going to kill Amalie. Then leave and take her with you. You can tell the townsfolk what you want, but if you stay here, we'll die together. Father Thomas, this is suicide. I believe it is an act of faith. And if it is not, I'm prepared to answer for it. Oh, let's go! This place is coming down quickly. Grab her, Father! Go. Come on, pick her up. Let's go. Are you alright? How's Sister Amalie? She's out, but I think she's fine. They must have heard that at the Golden Hand. The entire church collapsing, I hope so. What are you gonna tell them? What do you mean? About this? About everything? Why wouldn't we just tell them the truth? For the same reason Father Thomas hid it. Please explain your thinking. I'm not sure it makes sense. What good will it do to tell everyone about St. Moritz and St. Satya? Maybe Father Thomas was right about that, if nothing else. Maybe it would break their faith. I suppose the people here have had enough things in their lives broken. Oh, no. I think he's wrong. I think the people here have enough faith to hear the truth. Ooh. Am I gonna ruin their Christmas? I'm gonna agree with Andreas. You included. I'm sorry, Magdalene. It's alright. It's hard to feel like we actually accomplished anything. Are we any better off than we were this morning? Father Thomas won't be able to hurt anyone else. Maybe he never would have. Alright, we don't have to tell them. About the saints, the Romans, any of it. God, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. As much as this hurts, they should hear the truth. I was going to go like try to depict the truth as much as possible. And I don't want to, oh man, I don't want to be accomplice to the murders by hiding the truth. Yeah, they should hear the truth. Are you sure? Yeah, I don't know. No, but I still think it's what needs to be done. Yeah, I don't think this is the right time though, but it does need to be done. Then we'll tell them. Good. We should get Sister Amarii someplace warm. We can take her to my house. You'll probably have some explaining to do. A lot, I think. It's been a long time coming. Damn. I'm glad you didn't die in that fire. I am too. I think. Merry Christmas, Andreas. Merry Christmas. What a time to say that. Oh, did I make the wrong choice? Do the people really need to hear that kind of truth? To me, it's like, who cares who founded this town? The people here have their faith now. Magdalene, you made it back. Okay, I was gonna say I was doing the to myself, I was saying I'm not gonna do the revisionist history. The mural is gonna be as truthful as possible. Andreas and Sister Amarii and I all made it back. Sister Amarii? Was she in the church? I heard a terrible din and the house shook. Is everything alright? I don't think so, Dad, but it will be. Are you alright? Yes, I'm sorry. I'm just tired. Sit by me, tell me what happened. I think Andreas might be a little crazy. It started in the Rathaus. Well, the Rathskeller. Do you know the back wall was part of the old Roman aqueduct? Huh. So we went into the aqueduct. The section we found must have been closed off for centuries. We found an old Roman bathhouse. We couldn't go further, so we found our way down to a level under the baths. I think Andreas said it was a hypocaust. Andreas got separated from me. What's the difference between those two? I was really afraid I'd lost him, that we'd both gotten lost down there. But then I heard his voice off in the distance, and I was so relieved. Dad? Are you still listening? Oh no. Oh no. He didn't even get to see the mural. Oh. At least we made it back in time for him. It's really tragic that all of this is like unfolding so quickly. Oh, it's well into spring now. April 15th. Esther, I know it's hard. I mean, I can only imagine how hard it is. But we will all do our best to make you feel welcome when you get here. It's strange to think this will probably be the last letter I send to you. So it will end with my love, Esther. Magdalene? Oh, hello. Part 9, Incipit. Yes? I'm sorry to disturb you, but I want to let you know that everything is in order. Balthus has ensured that all of the financial matters will be handled. The money will be forwarded to you via the Reichspost as soon as everything is settled. I appreciate it. Please thank him for me. Thank him for everything. Of course, Mistress Druckerin. I don't know your father well, but I know that he was well regarded by people who spoke of him. It seems that Tassing has lost many things in one man. I'm very sorry. Thank you. Good fortune to you. I've packed up everything on the photo of us. Oh, let's see. The church has collapsed, right? Oh, it really truly did. Okay, wait. Let's talk to some of these people. Gertrude? Are you sure you have everything you need, Magdalene? I think so, thank you. I made you something to take with you on the road. It's chamomile, cinnamon, and wheat flour. If you're traveling and you're having cramps, I know, I'll use it. Well, Hildegard's recipe just called for chamomile and wheat flour. I added the cinnamon for taste. I'm so sorry about what happened to your father. Thank you. Mother Francisca had us all say prayers for him. And for you as well, when she heard you were leaving. Really? That's so sweet. Please thank her for me. I will. We'll all miss you so much, Magdalene. I'll miss you too. God bless you. Safe travels. Do I ever get to see this mural? Maybe I can go there. Veronica, Magdalene, I can't believe you're really leaving. I'll miss you all dearly. The boys will miss you even more. Yours at least? Oh, don't tease him. I think he's really having a hard time of it despite appearances. He'll get over me soon enough. Maybe, but you are a special girl, Magdalene Drucklerin. I understand why you're leaving. God knows you have good cause. But Tassing won't be the same without you. Safe travels and God bless you. So I'm not getting married, I assume. Oh, hey Mags. Hey Otts, I'm really sorry about your dad. He's always nice to me. My mom says he was a good man. He was a good dad. Well, thanks. I should get going. Mags. Magdalene. You sure you don't want to marry me? Oh. It's a tempting offer. Come with me. What? Really? Yes, really. But my mom and Till. I'm leaving Tassing today. If you want to have a life together, come with me. That's a lot to ask. I shouldn't have asked that. I know you're asking a lot of me too. Think about it, but don't think too long. Write to me then. It's only spring. I promise I won't get married before the end of the year. You know I'm no good at writing. Then get better. Don't take too long, sweet boy. A girl can't wait forever. I won't. Well, I'm saying that he has an option. Good. Take care of your mother. I will. Until later, Otts. That was so unromantic. Elias. Good morning, Mistress Druckerin. Are you off soon? Yes, Father. Just saying my last farewells. Of course. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to know you or your father. God rest his soul. I am too. Don't let the Bohemians put any heretical ideas in your head. Once their pernicious seeds take root, they can choke the faith right out of you. St. Moritz will protect me. Indeed. Though you travel far from home, he will hear your prayers wherever you go. God bless you, Father Elias. God bless you in your travels. Oh, little Amalie. God bless you as well, Sister Amalie. Are you leaving today? I am. I'm just setting up the mill in a bit. I'm sorry for everything that happened. I know. It's all right now. Thank you for helping me. Do you know what you'll do now? Will you become an anchoress again? I don't know, honestly. Father Elias is trying to help me, but I need to learn to rely on my own judgment a little more. It's going to take a long time to atone for my part in what happened. Perhaps the rest of my life. God knows he didn't mean to do harm. He does, but harm was done. I'm writing an account of what happened here, as well as I can remember it anyway. If it is not enough to earn forgiveness, I pray that it will at least illuminate this history of great darkness. Good. It's worth remembering. God bless you, Sister Amalie. God bless and keep you safe on your travels, Magdalene. Is there anyone else I can go through? Oh, no, I can't go through this way. Okay, I guess the mill is the only place that I can go to. Oh, that's where the cart is. Else, I never get to see my mural? Magdalene, this is it? It is. Time for me to leave. Good. Get out of the cursed town that's before this cursed town swallows you. Tassing will bring you nothing but anguish and misery. I hope one day you will find a path out of your sorrow. God willing, though I am doubtful. Stay safe out on the road. These are still dangerous times. We'll be fine. Look after your family. Paul, Anna, your grandkids still need you. I'll do what I can. They are what little I have left. Without them, never mind. Godspeed, Magdalene. I want to see my mural. Andreas, is he traveling with me? Are you sure I look all right? Of course, Andreas, you look perfectly respectable. You're a little worse for wear, but a good sight better than you were. It was kind of the women to help clean me up. I'm afraid I've forgotten how to look after myself. Some would say you took care of yourself quite admirably. How many men here could have survived in a burned-out cellar for the better part of 20 years? Subsisting on our discarded rye, no less. I'm sorry about that. Andreas, we already told you it's all right now. Magdalene. Hello, Magdalene. Are you off soon? Hello, yes, I'm riding with your flower to Mittenwald and then down to Isar. I'm sorry to see you go, Magdalene, but I hope Prague is everything you've dreamed of. It is if it's half the city Esther describes, I'm sure I'll love it. You have a chance to make a life of your own there. God knows I've squandered so much of mine. Use the time you have and use it well. I will. I don't know how, but I will. I wish he could have seen it, Andreas. I know. He would have loved it. I hope so. I know so. Now I know you're just trying to make me feel better. He was always proud of you, and he would be still. Magdalene, I want to ask you something about the mural before you go. I thought it was supposed to cover the whole wall. Why did you leave a section blank? For the future. Unless history is going to stop in Tassing the moment I roll down the road. Oh, that's nice. I think your wagon is about to leave. Oh, it is. It hardly feels like enough time. Thank you for everything you did for me, for my family. God bless you, Andreas Mahler. Andreas? Are you alright? I'm lost. That's alright. You're welcome to stay with us for as long as you need. Besides, you can't leave yet. The children require your expertise. Oh? They're up in the mill, the walkway. I'll have supper ready when you're done. Just remember that you're always welcome in our home, Andreas. Thank you. Alright, let's see what this ruckus is about with the kids. Windmill platform. Oh, they're drawing. They're drawing Tassing. I think they're making their own mural. Alright, let's make this shitty drawing better. Oh. Whoa! Am I in the scriptorium? Oh no, I'm where the mural is. I'm in the Rathaus. This is Saint Satya. I guess the sacrifices. Or no, there's Perchta. The sacrifices made to Perchta. There's the human sacrifice that used to be practiced in her name. The pilgrims. I wonder how varied these murals get between each playthrough. I need to go look it up after. And here are those that, the aftermath of the revolt, those that have died, the families. It is quite sad. Now I kind of regret depicting this because it's quite tragic. I feel like I should have made Otto and the soldiers in the distance instead, but it does show a faith here where she prays for a better future. The ruined abbey. Who's that? The soldiers leaving. Oh, it shows the soldiers anyways. See, I would have probably preferred Otto in there anyways. And this is the truth. What we found beneath the church. That the church was founded upon a Roman ruin with a Roman history that the town was founded upon. So I'm glad I chose to portray the truth. Mars. Oh, Magdalene. Is that Magdalene Druckery? Oh, Otto and Magdalene. Oh, our family tree. Klaus. Do they get married? I wonder. Lenhart. I'm glad that tree is over, sort of. Martha. Carl. Anton. Ilpeter. Crankier? The Gertners. Oh, it's the twins. Oh, Ursula. Oh gosh, Václav was burned? The Traveler? Oh gosh. Is that always a thing, or could that have changed? The bars. Kraftenbauer. Stones. Oh man, he ended up having a big family, Andres. And there's the hand of Saint Moritz. Andreas Miller. Oh, Andreas eventually did the family trees. That's beautiful. I wonder what happened to Václav though. Is it because he was a heretic? I could have cleaned up these lines though. I mean, the mural is not done. Look at these borders. Poorly made borders. I could have cleaned that up a little bit more. That's beautiful. Ah, this game, amazing. I hope that everyone watched this, did their own playthroughs. This has been probably one of the best mystery games, but also in the art style, truly unique. As for my suspicions, I knew from the start, the reason why I was so upset that I didn't go to the ladies that were spinning wool is because I was like, if there was someone that had information, it would be a gossip. And that's why it would be someone that knew everything that was happening in the town. And that would be the ladies that gossip. So they could probably point me in the direction of who knows the most. And that's why I was upset about not going there. And my suspicions were kind of confirmed when I accidentally made my way into the confessions. Remember at the church, the confessions, where it dawned on me that the person that knew absolutely everything that was going on was either Father Thomas or Sister Amalie. I didn't think that it would be both of them, although it makes more sense that it was both of them working together. But I knew that for these murders to happen and for the conspiracies to be so deep that someone had to know everything. And who would know everything more than the person that you confess your deepest, darkest sins to? Anyways, if anyone else had any theories or any other endings, please let me know in the comments. I'm I'm going to start searching up the different murals that everyone else gets in their playthroughs. Maybe I'll play it on my off time, but I'm so glad that all of you spent your time on this journey with me. I truly enjoyed the game, and I'll find another game like this, and we'll see if we can do something else like this in the future. Thank you all, and have a wonderful Christmas season.